have your normal routine because the amount of time you get on the floor before a game is limited. So therefore, you only have about 30 to 45 minutes to warm up.
Trevor Cooney on the floor to open the second half. We'll see how nimble he is. Grant, who had an outstanding first half, is fouled by Washington. Closing out, and let's go over to Deb Antonelli to get a report on Cooney.
I did what you guys asked me to do. I got you a report on Trevor Cooney. He's fine. They didn't do anything to adjust his tape or tighten up his shoes or any more meds. He did get hurt in the first half, but he's fine. He's ready to go. The only thing Coach Boeheim wants to change is the tempo of the game. He would like to push it more. He thought he had some mismatch opportunities early in the first half.
It is a misnomer with this team because they're so athletic that because you're in a 2-3 means you have to play a slower pace. That's not at all what Boeheim's team is all about.
No, the offensive pace, when they're able to rebound the basketball and get it into the hands of Tyler Ennis, they want to be able to push it. And again, he has playmakers on the wing. He has a number of guys he can throw the ball ahead of to that can make a play not only for themselves, but for their teammates as well.
Same starting five on the floor for both teams here in the second half. Now Turner. Washington had the rebound, got tied up with Rakeem Christmas, and he'll be tagged with the foul, and that's number 3 on Rakeem.
And I love the reaction by Rakeem Christmas, like, what foul? There was a bit of contact there, but of course not. One of the things with the zone, finding box out opportunities is always going to be difficult, and that time a free run to the rim by Washington.
Not surprising that Mark Gottfried wanted NC State to get number 22 involved offensively at the outset of this half.
But against this zone, it's hard to really design who you want to get shots for. They have to kind of flow out of the offense. A great cut by T.J. Warren, but even better defense by the Syracuse Orange. They will not concede a layup. Regardless of foul trouble, Syracuse challenges everything at the rim.
Yes, they do. Plenty of contact, particularly for Warren. Not worthy of a foul. Mark Gottfried was looking for an explanation from the officials.
Well, and T.J. Warren on that possession avoided the charge,
yes,
which means he jumped around the contact. Also meaning that he doesn't get the call either.
Ennis, not there. Long rebound, and Warren's got a gimme. Even Christmas could not get back to defend that one, and TJ's got 13.
And Christmas with 3 fouls, that was a dangerous play. That's one he has to give up and not get in the way and give C.J. Fair. You know, he didn't come away with the foul, but he was close to getting one there, and he can't afford to go to the bench.
Ennis, Christmas trying to keep it alive. Again, those long arms of Syracuse keep the ball alive on their end of the floor. Fair, off the bounce, that's his spot. Generally speaking, the sweet spot on the floor for C.J. Fair.
And I've watched C.J. Fair all year. I do not anticipate another 2 for 12 half from him, and he's off to a good start here in the second half.
Again, they get it to Vandenberg, and right away Warren attacks the rim, and this time he is fouled.
And T.J. Warren continues to get the job done defensively as well, and that's how he scores a lot of his points. It's not always running plays for T.J. Warren, but getting into the passing lane, coming up with steals, getting out in transition. He scores in so many different facets of the game. We just talked about Rakeem Christmas and how important it was for him to stay on the floor. Now picking up his 4th foul, and I'm sure Coach Boeheim is letting him know you can't make those plays.
4 fouls for Christmas, and that means Bai Musa Keita will be forced into action a little sooner than anticipated. Rakeem sits in between Mike Hopkins and Jerry McNamara. Cooney, not there. Warren runs it down. T.J. Warren, and the putback by Washington.
And a great push by T.J. Warren. He doesn't get the basket, but he puts Washington in a position to come up with the offensive rebound, and it starts with just pushing the ball in transition.
Ennis calling his own number. He's got the shot. It's all there.
And he's also got an offensive, repertoire to where he can make plays as well. With Cooney limping around a bit, Tyler Ennis is going to have to step it up offensively, but he's a guy, of course, we've seen capable of not only taking but knocking down big shots.
He is the cool hand Luke of Syracuse basketball. Plays well beyond his years.
He's been that way for a long time. He was like that at around 15 or 16.
Washington, great dump down to Vandenberg. A little high-low.
And again, great interior passing for the Wolfpack, and Vandenberg with the finish and getting it above the rim quickly so that the length of Syracuse can't bother the shot.
Both teams really getting a little more into the flow on the offensive end of the floor. Vandenberg will draw the foul against Grant. That was a mismatch in quickness, and that's the second on Vandenberg.
Talked about getting inside that zone and being able to make a play, and this time Washington finding Vandenberg, not scoring it himself, but knowing where to get the ball to Vandenberg, and he was able to get it up quickly because you see those wings from Syracuse, they're coming after the block shot.
This is a game, really, Corey, for North Carolina State at the beginning of the season. They did not know what kind of post play they were going to get, either from Anya or from Vandenberg. Leonard Freeman, who sometimes can play inside, even though he's slight of size. I think that's really, as this team has matured, along with Warren, Vandenberg's emergence is huge for a game like this against Syracuse.
Well, and one of the things that happens during the season is guys start to understand their role. Jordan Vandenberg understands what his role is, and now he's playing it very well.
Lewis, a runner. Fair, the rebound. Ennis looking to push. Ooh, a near mistake, but Fair bailed him out, coming up with a loose ball, and he's fouled, taking it to the rim. Ennis got up in the air and actually made a poor pass that North Carolina State should have intercepted. Washington gets the foul, his second.
Well, T.J. Warren almost got his hands on that basketball, but you know what they say about almost. Hand grenades and horseshoes, that's about it.
Very realistic view of where he was as a player, the senior from Baltimore. C.J. Fair said that at the end of last season, he checked it out. Scouts had him somewhere between 22 and 40 in the NBA draft. He said, that's not for me. I think I'll come back and make myself a better player and enjoy the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. And why not?
And he's had a great year because of it. And I got a chance to spend some time with him in Charlotte back in October. And he's a great kid. A lot of fun to be around. He and Bob Musakane came in, and they pretty much had everybody laughing and really just acclimated in with a lot of the former ACC players very well.
Warren. Not this time. He fights for the rebound, and by Musakane may be tagged with this one. Or it could be Fair. We'll check. Instead, it's Jeremy Grant who gets his second. Everett Case got it started. All of these teams along Tobacco Road. And now, there are some party crashers from the Northeast.
Americans, we develop the things that keep our country on the move. And at Valero, we make the fuels that make them all go. Just stop by and you'll find high-quality fuel for your cars and trucks, plus great-tasting snacks and drinks for you. Everything you need to get you where you want to be, coast to coast. We're Valero, our nation's largest refiner, and we're helping keep America moving.
For $179 a month.
We talk often about points in the paint. Well, you can get there more easily when they're layups.
Absolutely, and they're very difficult to get against the Syracuse zone, but offensive rebounding is another opportunity, and when you can pass the ball and use your bigs on the inside, that always helps. Kyle Washington, Jordan Vandenberg doing a great job, and they're part of the reason that NC State holds a positive 8 advantage over the Syracuse Orange in points in the paint.
T.J. Warren at the free throw line. We're tied at 35 here at the ACC quarterfinal round. Beautiful Friday evening in Greensboro, North Carolina. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. Ralston Turner is still scoreless, 0 for 2 from the floor, and he remains out there for Mark Gottfried. And when he was talking with Deb Antonelli at halftime, I think in saying get down and score the ball a bit more effectively, pretty sure he had number 22 in mind. He had 22 points last night.
Yeah, Syracuse defense has him in mind too, and that was one of the things that they told us earlier. It wasn't as much about stopping T.J. Warren. It was not allowing Ralston Turner to get involved in the mix.
No, he hasn't to this point. Only 2 shots taken at the basket as Barber picks up the foul. His second.
You know, one of the things I love about this, T.J. Warren, of course, we know about his offensive exploits, but he's guarding C.J. Fair. He's not ducking the best player on another team. He's going out, and these two guys are going at it man to man.
Nice dump down to Musaketa, but Vandenberg rejects him. T.J. Warren on the loose. Cooney is back. Wise choice by the player of the year to set up shop as Syracuse got back very nicely. Vandenberg brought the ball down, had his pocket picked by Ennis. Numbers. Tyler, the teardrop goes.
And the one guy that you cannot bring his helmet around is the ACC steal leader, Tyler Ennis. Great hands, and he understands what to do with it at the other end.
And North Carolina State went to sleep as Barber had no one coming to him for the inbounds pass. He was forced to call a timeout.
The Atlantic Coast Conference would like to thank its official corporate champions. Their support.
Not only just being a scorer, but he's defending the rim for the Wolfpack against this long Syracuse front line. So Jordan Vandenberg getting the job done on both ends of the floor.
Short of that turnover a moment ago, he had played an error-free game.
You got to have a couple of those every now and then.
Brought the ball down a little bit low, and Ennis got the pilfer and the quick deuce. From way downtown, Turner. Now, that was probably a step further than he would have liked to have been, but let's see if it ignites North Carolina State.
Well, and more importantly, does it ignite Ralston Turner, because he can ignite NC State when he's able to knock a couple of those down.
And Musaketa lost it. Barber's on the loose. 3-on-2 to TJ. A payday. North Carolina State leads by 5.
And a great pass by Cat Barber, and Jim Boeheim wants to talk about that. He does not like the direction this has gone in the last couple possessions. Off of the steal is Cat Barber in the rim, and great vision to find T.J. Warren, who knows how to finish. But one of the things for NC State, if they can get points in transition, it takes a load of pressure off of that half-court offense.
The official ACC mobile app presented by Outback Steakhouse offers live ACC Network games, video scores, stats, and news. Visit acc.com/apps to download, and be sure to check out the basketball championship pages where you can enter to win Outback dinner packages for a year. 2 lucky fans will be awarded today, so download the app and enter now. Jim Boeheim's club with its debut in the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament, the 61st edition overall, against an upstart North Carolina State team with payback on its mind. And Ennis, oh, wow, the iron unkind. Downright rude to Tyler that time. Well, that did everything but drop. Warren has gotten 7 boards tonight. That was an alley-oop, not a shot.
I was about to say, now, who was that to?
Yeah, but if, I don't know if you could have gotten an assist, but that certainly is a Sunday best dish. Cat Barber into Vandenberg. He's 5 for 5, and the Ralston-Turner three-pointer started this 7-0 spurt. It was exactly the elixir North Carolina State needed. Grant in traffic. He's fouled.
After having 2 early turnovers, Cat Barber has really lifted this NC State offense in a beautiful dime. Dropped off to Jordan Vandenberg, who knows how to finish it when he catches it at the rim. And getting inside that painted area is important for NC State against this zone. Cat Barber finding his way inside.
His quickness has really come to the forefront here in the second half, hasn't it?
It really has, and not only just on the offensive end, but of course, he's the guy that can go out there and compete with Tyler Ennis. And like Coach Cat Barber for 2 years, these two guys, he and Tyler Ennis, have gone at it for a long time, both getting the best of each other at different times, but they know how to compete against each other.
Well, Jeremy Grant, who has such a ACC lineage in his family tree, seems to be comfortable in the Carolinas. Played very well in the loss to Duke, had 17 in that game. And with Fair struggling, he's had the answer for Syracuse tonight in this quarterfinal matchup. Leonard Freeman inside, yes, and a foul. By Musakeda picks it up.
The one thing that we're seeing, Tim, is, this Wolfpack team, as Leonard Freeman finds his way again through the contact inside the paint. But this NC State team is confident playing against Syracuse because they felt as though they had the game won at the Carrier Dome. They end up coming away with the loss from up there, but all season long, they've been wanting another crack at the horn.
For 39 minutes and 30 seconds, they really outplayed Syracuse. Even Boeheim said so afterwards. Cooney, checked by Turner. Time for Fair to begin to light it up. And a giveaway foul there committed by Warren. He has too many of those in his background. Instead, he just tossed it out, which allowed Fair the open run out. And then at the end, Warren came up empty. Lots of conversation about a continuation foul that did not go NC State's way. But in the end, you know this as you look at the tell of the tape. Barber had struggled some at the line, and he just didn't want to hold on to the ball. Had he would have gotten to the free throw line.
Well, and you saw in those numbers, Rakeem Christmas had 7 block shots in that game, so his defensive presence was huge. And we've noticed he's been on the bench during this struggle with 4 fouls that Syracuse has had to stop NC State on the defensive end.
Ooh, Warren deflected it. The Cat got it. Barber with his first deuce. North Carolina State by 9. Warren does it all, doesn't he?
He really does.
Grant takes it right at Vandenberg and picks up the foul.
And Cat Barber finding himself right in the middle of the pass lane. TJ Warren with the great hands deflects the pass, and Cat Barber, of course, once you get into a foot race, there are very few that are going to catch him with full head of steam toward the basket.
Mark Gottfried has made the determination that he needs to get Vandenberg out with this much time remaining. All that size that Syracuse has. He'll go to Anya to replace Vandenberg, who just got his 7th team foul. And Rakeem Christmas comes back into the game with 4 fouls. By Musakeda sits down for Syracuse.
And Jim Boeheim recognizing how his team has struggled with Christmas on the bench, but of course it's still a gamble when you think about 11:25 left in this game. If Christmas gets one more, he's disqualified, and then of course it becomes a problem throughout the remainder of the game.
A little bit of an equalizer, though, that Vandenberg is forced to sit because Anya, not the shot blocker that Vandenberg would be.
I'm not going to say that. BJ Anya has a 7'9" wingspan, so he can cover up the rim himself.
Good hands, I know that about Anya. Warren, he's got that classic in-between game that is such a lost art in today's college basketball.
Well, he has great touch around the basket. Those are difficult shots, but he makes them look extremely easy.
20 points tonight for TJ Warren. Player of the year in the ACC. the preseason player of the year, has struggled for Syracuse. Fellow first-teamer C.J. Fair. In traffic, Grant counted, and a foul.
Now, Grant's the one guy that's been able to have some success offensively for Syracuse, and right here showing his ability to put the basketball on the floor. Great left hand at the rim, and he's one of those guys that can sneak up and score 16 to 18 points for Syracuse, and he's been their offense here today.
Remember those two giveaway fouls that Warren had early? One in the first half, one about 3 minutes ago. Well, now he just picked up his legitimate third underneath the basket. We've got a tie ball, the arrow to North Carolina State. So T.J. Warren, who is prone to play hard even when he has foul difficulty, is going to be skating on thin ice the remainder of this game.
And he's fouled out of a number of games this year, and NC State going on to lose some of those games because they don't have his production on the floor at the end.
Turner does have the 1-3. Barber lost that one. Benajay gets the easy one.
And great hands again. Tyler Ennis, the ACC steals leader. That time getting the hand on the basketball and not only getting it away from Cat Barber, but still being able to corral it with the head pass to Michael. I'm sorry. Pass ahead.
Turner is fouled. This one will go against Grant.
And Ennis, great hands here, picking the pocket of Cat Barber and finding Benajay ahead for the easy points. And again for Syracuse, turning those turnovers into points is huge, especially as they struggle in the half-court offense.
3 fouls now on Jeremy Grant. So we'll be documenting potential attrition as we get closer to the end of regulation, as the foul difficulty begins to creep into the strategy of the game for both coaches. Raheem Christmas already out there with 4. Grant now joins the issue with 3 himself. Haven't seen much of Tyler Lewis in this half because Turner did hit that deep 3, but he's only launched 3 tonight. Warren in traffic, stayed with it. Ball was knocked out of his hands. He went back to grab it and put it right up.
Some people are just born to score, and that is Tony Warren Jr., no question about it. He is born to score the basketball because he finds so many ways to do it. Conventional, unconventional, it doesn't matter.
Ennis off the bounce. He's got it. Playing the nylon song, the freshman. 52-47, 14 in the game. And if he needs to score 25 to win, he can.
And that was a huge answer for Tyler Ennis. And I was sitting here, of course, close up watching that play and thinking to myself, I would shoot that one.
Really?
I did think that.
I'm shocked. Warren does not get the roll. Fair, the rebound out to Ennis. Christmas working on Anya. Nice move. Doesn't get the ball to go. Warren keeps it alive, just outworking everyone on the floor. He's up to 8 rebounds now to go along with his 22 points. Kyle Washington will come in on the next dead ball. Turner from way downtown again. Not this time. Rebound cleared by Grant. Ennis leaves it for Fan. Scoop to the hoop won't go, and B.J. Anya comes down with it.
Right now, Mark Godfrey trying to get T.J. Warren a short blow. He's a bit winded right now, and you're going to have to get him out. We'll have immediate timeout, but you got to get him out and give him a chance to recharge his battery because they're going to need him down the stretch to try to finish this game.
Shot clock under 10. Turner. Ball fake and a deuce. He has 6.
Whatever the message was to Ralston Turner at halftime, he got it. He's been much more aggressive here in the second half, and 2 huge threes from back.
That was a 3. In traffic, Ennis again. He is so good. Dynamite. Julie Boeheim among the crowd from Syracuse on hand. Lovely wife of Coach Boeheim. And he will tell you that his marriage and the children that they've had in recent years has helped to make him the laid-back man that he is now as a legendary coach and Hall of Famer. Well, the ACC and your local Toyota dealers are unlocking the ACC archives where you can relive over 90 classic basketball games all for free. NC State's Jimmy V wins his second and final ACC tournament as the Pack defeated the #1 Tar Heels 68-67. They were second in the country at that time. Vinny Del Negro was the MVP, hitting those big ones late. You can visit the ACC.com/vault. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Here's the most recent run for North Carolina State tonight.
And a lot of it's had to do with Rawson Turner. He sparked it with the first three. And then Cat Barber finding his teammates, getting them easy baskets. And, of course, Lenore Freeman getting involved in the mix. And Barber doing this one on his own. But it's been other guys, T.J. Warren included. But it's been the supporting cast for the Wolfpack that's really stepped up here recently.
There you see the resume. The problem, the lack of wins against top 50 RPI teams. That can be solved with a win here tonight and a win potentially, all right, if Duke were to beat Clemson. It would shake out very well for North Carolina State in terms of getting inside the bubble. Turner off the back iron, and again, all of his shots a little further behind. Benajay in the minds of North Carolina State by Barber.
And that's a mistake right there. Now, of course, if you're Cat Barber, you get back beyond the half-court line and then chase the basketball down. You don't want to play tightrope with that half-court line right there.
Deb Antonelli during the break was in the North Carolina State huddle.
Guys, so enthusiastic. Coach Godfrey really bringing the energy, trying to get his guys to pick it up a notch. There's nothing different. You've got to continue to play good D. You've got to get the ball in the middle of the zone.
All about repetition. Sometimes the coach has to repeat himself. Ennis, he is so solid.
And he has stepped his production up here recently for Syracuse, now knocking down another three, and he's been the guy they've depended upon from the exterior. Cooney still gimpy. C.J. Fair not been able to get the job done here so far this evening, and Tyler Ennis stepping it up.
Yeah, and you knew this was going to happen because he's capable of calling his own number. He's just a pass-first point guard. That's who he is. It's one of the reasons why Jim Boeheim says he's the best he's ever coached. Washington, not there.
He said he's the best freshman he's ever coached.
Well, the best freshman, exactly. But let's think about that. Pearl Washington, Sherman Douglas. Can I go on? When you say best freshman, that to me means maybe the best you've ever had, because they were all good at Syracuse as freshmen. The all-time greats were great. He told me that when I was doing the Villanova game. Haviland and the ACC Network are giving you a chance to pick this year's all-ACC men's basketball first and second teams. Don't miss your chance to cast votes for your favorite players at the ACC.com/fanvote.
Yeah, I'm going to take you back to that conversation. He's the best freshman point guard he's ever coached. Okay.
Yes, best
the
point
best
guard
freshman he's ever coached is a guy by the name of Carmelo Anthony that won him.
Oh, sure.
Oh!
Christmas gets it done. Nice alley-oop.
And just like that, Syracuse is back in this game after being down 10. They were up. North Carolina State was up 10 when Jordan Vandenberg went to the bench. And since then, Syracuse has erased 9 of those points and got it down to a one-point game. And a lot of that has to do with Tyler Ennis, but also them being able to attack inside the zone.
Tyler Lewis back in the game. A couple of turnovers have really hurt North Carolina State late. That ball was last touched by Syracuse.
Well, Tyler Ennis has gotten it done from the perimeter, but Rakeem Christmas now back on the court, avoiding foul trouble, able to go over the top. A great pass from Jeremy Grant for the alley-oop.
7-0 run for Syracuse. Clemson and Duke coming up next. Warren over Cooney. He's fouled.
T.J. Warren gets to the free throw line a lot, and of course, you know, most great scorers get to the line, but he does it by staying in attack mode. And of course, when he goes up to shoot those floaters, he doesn't jump straight up in the air. He's jumping forward, so as the defense tries to resist him, they're going to get some body on him, and oftentimes it ends up being a foul, and when he's unable to make the shot.
I have no idea why there was any debate about his being player of the year in this conference.
Well, going into the last weekend when they played Duke, he really didn't have a signature win or a signature moment. He had 2 stolen from him. They feel with the loss of Syracuse, and also when Marcus Page was able to make the game winner against North Carolina.
Grant takes it inside and is fouled. Goes against Kyle Washington. That's his 3rd. See, this idea that many pundits have that in order to be the player of the year, you have to be the best player on the top team or the best team. No. No, when you lead in that many categories, I'm sorry.
And that's never more, you know, and you know, I don't agree with you much, but of course, you know, this I do agree with you from that standpoint, because that's never more evident than this year. When you look at Virginia, and Malcolm Brogdon this year was their best player, but at the end of the day, when you think about what Joe Harris, with Justin Anderson, with Anthony Gill, they all do, it's a team effort, and that was the best team, and the one that deserved the award for them got it. Tony Bennett was Coach of the Year.
Well, this could be the signature win that T.J. Warren has been needing and wanting, and this program must have to impress the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee.
You mean more so than when he went to Pittsburgh and with 41 on the road to win?
Even more so. Yeah, this one means more.
I agree. I don't know what's going on with me agreeing with you.
The step back three's rejected. Wow, what a play by Christmas. Dennis. That's a block. It'll go against Ralston Turner. Boy, that looked like the block.
Has my man Timmy B reminiscing.
Hakeem Warwick had that big block to close out Roy Williams' Kansas Jayhawks in the Superdome for that 2003 National Championship. And Christmas to do that with 4 fouls, that tells you how much confidence he has in his shot blocking ability.
Well, he jumped from about 15 feet away.
Yeah, he did.
Unbelievable play for Christmas.
21 points for Ennis. What a stat line he's got. Lewis lost it. Turnovers have become now an issue. Fair. Foul by Turner. Body language, if it says anything, not good for North Carolina State right now.
And Tyler Ennis has just taken over this game. You talk about the hands. He didn't come up with, well, he came up with the steal, but he didn't create it. But understanding to get it over to C.J. Fair, allow him to try to finish, and more importantly, get Fair to the free throw line to get some confidence going for him. Ennis has got to found the groove offensively. Now they're trying to find one for the senior leader.
Barber comes back into the game for Lewis. And Leonard Freeman will check in for Washington. Fair 72% at the free throw line this year. Tyler Ennis has been the difference for Syracuse. He has just been outstanding. 5-to-1 assist turnover ratio, calling his own number. They're now in the midst of a 12-2 run, and they lead it by a deuce.
And that's the thing about this Syracuse team. They don't get phased. They simply just continue to play the right way, and somehow or another, they always find themselves with a chance to win it at the end.
They are very comfortable playing in close games. Warren, a 360 rejected this time by Grant. Ennis does not go. Outlet for Barber. He's got Warren with him. 2-on-1. Cooney the foul. Second foul on Trevor Cooney.
And that was a great decision by Cat Barbers. He looked back to give it to T.J. Warren, but it would have been a turnover had he done so. Being aggressive, trying to get to the rim was the right play, and now an opportunity for him to get back to the free throw line and tie this game for NC State.
Early in the season, he struggled at the free throw line. He has improved as the season's worn on. And you know somewhere between those ears, he's thinking about what happened in the last few seconds when he could have simply held the ball and been fouled and perhaps secured the victory. We're tied at 59. That was in the game back on February the 15th. 3 minutes left. We're tied at 59. Syracuse fans are on their feet. Fair. That's a charge. Nice work by Freeman to collect the player control foul. Just the second foul on Fair.
And that was an easy call for Jamie Luckey getting over there. And Leonard Freeman had set up well before C.J. Fair gets into his upward motion. The easy call for Jamie Luckey coming over.
Turnover problems for NC State have enabled Syracuse to outscore them 12-4 in that category. Helped them during this recent run. Turner. Oh, the bank is open late in Greensboro. How do you do? 62-59.
Well, North Carolina State has had a number of plays as such go against them. This time, Ross Turner is the guy who finds the benefit of Mother Luck.
Yes, indeed. Grant over Vandenberg. Jeremy Grant showing his all-floor game. He's got 19. Amazing how Syracuse spreads you out with their 2-3 zone. You initiate so far away from the bucket, and Warren gets the jumper to go from the baseline extended.
It doesn't matter where he finds it. He knows how to score the basketball any part of the court.
The lead is 3. Ennis.
I've talked about it before. In my opinion, he is the best on-ball defender in the ACC. Hands down, Cat Barber is so quick. He can get in front of the offensive players as they're changing direction and allows them to push him off because he gets in their way.
That was a pretty good substitution late to make, was it not? To get Lewis out and Barber in.
That was, and they do that for defensive purposes more so, but Cat Barber's had a good offensive game as well, distributing the basketball.
Not to take anything away from Lewis. There are times when it's his advantage. We got a tie ball with the arrow to Syracuse. Yet another mistake by North Carolina State that creates a turnover opportunity for the Orange.
And that's one of the things that you know that Syracuse is going to do, but how do you go about challenging it? They bring 4 guys up. You know they're going to trap that first pass, but yet there are very few options you have, and Jim Boeheim normally goes to that when they're in trouble.
Christmas sets the high pick for Ennis. Pinochet gives it up. Ennis using the window. No. Warren the rebound.
Huge block by Jordan Vandenberg, understanding Ennis would be coming to him, and gets a hand on the basketball.
Jim Boeheim was calling for the trap. Mark Gottfried wanted the timeout, and the fans are on their feet.
And T.J. Warren finding Ralston Turner, who's able to knock it down off glass. And then T.J. Warren, moving without the basketball in such a quick release, you have to be right there against his body. Otherwise, he can get the shot off.
There you see the story. Timeouts remaining. 3 for Syracuse, only 1 for North Carolina State. Possession arrow to the Wolfpack. Clemson would like to think that another victory against Duke, and why not, would get them into the NCAAs. And I would concur. they've got their shot after NC State gets theirs against Syracuse. And Jabari Parker, Freshman of the Year, will be on display, and it might be the only year we get to see. And that could likely will be.
I believe the ACC fans have enjoyed a great display of what Jabari Parker can do, and it's good because they won't see it much longer. I think this will be it for him, but of course he has provided this footprint a great year.
Tyler Ennis will likely be the difference if the Qs can come back.
And he did it in a number of ways, stealing the basketball, knocking down the three, scoring the floater, and not only that, he's able to get the finish at the rim and then finding his teammates as well. As Cat Barber goes through a lot of contact, unable to finish at the rim. NC State fans want a foul on that one, but Mike Benajay finishes at the other end.
Timeout after the deuce. 64-63. It was a great drive to the basket.
And Benajay doing a great job continuing to be aggressive and jumping in between defenders. No charge to set up a take there, and he gets Syracuse back to within one with his aggressiveness. And this is Cat Barber doing a great job attacking, but of course for King Christmas, we know as a shot blocker, there a little bit of contact, but Cat Barber with the off arm really was the one initiating the contact. Great no call by the officials, but because of it, it turns into a fast break opportunity at the other end for Syracuse.
And that's the thing with Anthony Barber, and I go back to massaging your minutes with your point guards. There's a little good and a little bad. You got to be able to take both if you're a head coach. Mark Gottfried has done, I think, a lot of that with both he and Lewis, utilizing their advantages, understanding there's maybe some downside from time to time. Let's see what happens. 26.4, Syracuse still down one. And the foul given up by Grant, quickly doubling T.J. Warren.
Well, this is deja vu somewhat for NC State. Now the opportunity for T.J. Warren to go to the free throw line and possibly make this a 2 or 3 point game. But State found themselves in a very similar situation when they played in the Carrier Dome a month or so ago and unable to come away with the win.
T.J. Warren at the line with 2 shots.
Hey, whoa!
8 out of 10 at the free throw line tonight. Freeman will come in for NC State. Cooney for Syracuse. Benajay sits down. Turner sits down for North Carolina State. Vandenberg also in the game. The iron kind to the player of the year. 1 possession game. Ennis, a quick drive. And a near flush, but it's missed. Cooney got the long rebound. Ennis throws up an air ball. Cooney again, off the top of the board. Fair for 3, off the back iron. Ennis back to Cooney. Will one go? No. 1.3 left, and they're on the inline. NC State may get that signature win after all. Well, that was like a power play in hockey for Syracuse. They kept getting second and third and fourth chance opportunities.
But the first mistake was right after this. The first offensive rebound, Trevor Cooney should have shot the first one. He's the best three-point shooter on Syracuse's team. He should have let the first one go. All of these shots, C.J. Fair does get a good look on that one, and Syracuse continues to come up with off looks. NC State unable to corral the rebound, but Syracuse unable to knock one down.
Oh, all the body lean of a scratch golfer, which Jim Boeheim is. He could not get the ball inside the cylinder, and it began with the missed dunk. You're right, though. Cooney should have set sail earlier.
And that's when you think about, okay, he's got a bum ankle right now. Was he confident? But when he got that offensive rebound off of the Grant dunk, he should have lined that one up. He's their best shooter. That would have been the best time for him to take that shot.
Lewis will inbound it. Syracuse will have to quickly foul once it's in. Length of the floor, baseball pass to Lee. He wisely keeps it in play. North Carolina State gets its big W. The inaugural appearance for Jim Boeheim and his proud program in the Atlantic Coast Conference postseason tournament turns into a short stay to the hands of the institution that in many ways created the entire party, North Carolina State.
Well, North Carolina State feels as though this is their tournament. No matter what anyone says, they feel the ACC tournament is about them, and it seems as though every year, somehow or another, they find a way to create some magic, especially when it's played here in Greensboro.
Deb Antonelli is standing by with one of the stars of tonight's game. He did play 7 foot tonight, Jordan Vandenberg.
Jordan, the first time you met with Syracuse, you did not score. You had 10 points tonight. What was the difference for you offensively?
I mean, I had to do something. It's my last year. So, you know, I just went with what came to me. And, yeah, so 10 points is 10 points for the team.
Jordan, TJ Warren has made so many big shots. You told me that you needed to facilitate some of the offense by being a passer, but tonight you were a scorer. How important is it for you to be effective offensively?
I mean, now that we're deeper in the tournament, it's really important for me to be, you know, scoring the ball, because we can't just rely on TJ. You know, everyone needs to contribute every night.
The emotion of the game was tremendous at the end. You survived them going 0 for 6 on the last possession. What were your emotions like each time they took a shot from behind the arc?
Well, we didn't know where the ball was going. You know, we kept trying to box out, and then someone kept getting the rebound, but we're glad they missed so that we didn't go into overtime.
Congratulations, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right, Tim.
We kept trying to box out, and those long rebounds kept going to the orange. Time after time, but the iron was unkind, and NC State advances.